and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Tuesday, June 10th.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
We begin in the sports world. Jim Irsay's 3 daughters are officially taking over ownership of the Colts. Carly Irsay Gordon will serve as the team's principal owner and CEO. Casey Foyt will be the owner and executive vice president. Kaylin Jackson will serve as part owner and chief brand officer. Jackson will also serve as the president of the Indianapolis Colts Foundation. All 3 have been in leadership roles with the team since 2012. The Irsay family has owned the Colts since 1972, one of a handful of NFL teams that are still under family ownership. Jim Irsay passed away on May 21st. The man accused of stalking Caitlin Clark was in court yesterday. Michael Lewis had a very brief pretrial hearing in Indianapolis. He raised his hand to speak but did not end up talking after a discussion with his lawyers. Lewis is accused of stalking Clark through hundreds of posts on social media and then booking a hotel room close to her home. Back in January, Lewis tried to plead guilty in court, but the judge did not allow it and ordered a mental health evaluation. Lewis is due back in court for another hearing in July. And we have an update on a story that we've been following for months now. Controversy regarding Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's top aide. A tense moment at Monday night's City County Council meeting led to sheriff's deputies removing one of the women who accused Mayor Joe Hogsett's former top aide of sexual assault. Lauren Roberts is now speaking publicly about what she's describing as an incomplete investigation. Danielle Zulkowski reports.
Lauren Roberts was forcibly removed by sheriff's deputies during tonight's City County Council meeting after Council President Vop Osili instructed them to do so. The reasoning? She was speaking off topic. She was talking about her experience being harassed while working on Mayor Joe Hogsett's campaign instead of staying on topic, talking about financial appropriations.
Do not put your hands on me.
Oh, don't even do that. Don't even do that.
Lauren Roberts spoke to the media and supporters outside of the City County Council building after being forcibly removed from the council meeting.
If I could tell my younger self what Joe Hogsett and his then campaign manager Thomas Cook were about to put me through, I would tell her to run away and don't look back.
Councilors had a lot to say on the issue. So far, only 2 have called for the mayor's resignation. Democrats Andy Nielsen and Jesse Brown. Fellow Democrat Ron Gibson reaffirmed his support for the mayor.
I stand firm that I believe that everything was handled properly and that anything at this point is nothing but political game.
Republican Minority Leader Michael Paul Hart also spoke before the meeting.
What's in our control is making sure that we are looking at the data, right? I mean, the legislative body here can't impeach a mayor. We have no ability to do that. And so I don't want to mislead the public. I want to show the public exactly what we can do, which is make sure we keep that committee going, get the information from Fisher Phillips that we don't have, and analyze it ourselves.
This is not over. The proposal to pass funding to pay for the investigation into this harassment was sent back to committee. I'm Danielle Zulkowski for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Avon police are trying to find the people who started a fight at a Texas Roadhouse over the weekend. One woman being attacked in the video, which you can find on WishTV.com, is a recent graduate of Ben Davis High School. She was there with her family Saturday night around 10. That is when an argument broke out between what appeared to be people who were strangers. It quickly turned violent. People say multiple people were injured in the fight, including one girl who was cut across the head from a plate shattering. News 8 talked to a woman who was in the restaurant and recorded the chaos.
Plates were flying, food was flying, drinks were flying. Glasses were flying. I was actually hit with the plate. It was so many babies in there. And it was one little girl in particular, and I just keep checking on this little girl because she was so traumatized. She couldn't breathe. She was in an anxiety, panic attack, and she couldn't been no more. That may not even been 10 years old.
As of now, no arrests have been announced in this incident. Police say the people who started the fight ran off. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Avon Police. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has removed every member of the committee that advises the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on vaccines. Kennedy announced yesterday that all 17 members of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices are out. He says the group had what he called too many conflicts of interest and says he plans to appoint his own picks for the new committee. It is not clear just yet when that will happen or what impact it could have on the rollout of the COVID and flu vaccines this fall. When it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 says we are in for a mostly sunny but hazy day. Meteorologist Marcus Bailey has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
This isn't like last week, and even last week wasn't bad. It wasn't like you were breathing in the smoke. You could smell it at times. You definitely saw. What do you say?
Well, so, me listening to Marcus all morning, I go home over the weekend and I get a whiff of smoke.
Wildfire smoke.
And I get on my little pulpit with the family. I'm like, well, you know what that is? That's wildfire smoke from Canada.
Yeah.
And my wife lets me do the whole thing. And then she points at the fence. She goes, no, Bob's just burning some leaves over there.
See, there you go.
You felt real smart there.
Hopefully, my friend. I haven't felt smart in that house for 30 years. What are you talking about?
I know exactly what you mean by that. That's hilarious.
That's a good one.
I feel the same way, though. But you'll have a little bit of that here today, but you're not, look, it's not as thick as what we had to deal with last week. And we still didn't even have air quality issues. So 65 in Plainfield, 65 in Fishers, and 65 in Greenfield. 64 in Muncie, 64 in Greencastle, 66 in Bloomington, 68 in Shelbyville, and 68 in Bedford. Storm tracker, quiet here. We got a couple of boundaries that have already worked through the state. Yesterday, this cold front was the rainmaker and a lot of cloud cover. And then you add a secondary boundary that moved through over the last couple of hours. And that's basically, it's bringing a reinforcing shot of northwest winds, all right? Cool, dry Canadian air, but it's also kind of bringing in some of that wildfire smoke, several thousand feet up in the air, so it doesn't get to the surface. Made for a very pretty daybreak this morning. Should make for a nice orange glow at sunset coming up in the 9 o'clock hour for tonight. 78 degrees this afternoon. That is slightly below average for this time of year. Normal high should be around 81. I do think we're going to start going above average in terms of high temperatures starting tomorrow. We also start dialing up the muggy meter a bit. You get the combo of that. We're going to ramp up our rain chances as we gear up for a busy Father's Day weekend. We'll have more in my Storm Track 8 forecast coming your way in just a few minutes.
To get a peek at Marcus Bailey's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget about our weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Tuesday, June 10th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.